All right, I'm going to start the potatoes. All right. So what I've got here is I've got a Yukon Gold potato. Just washed it off, and I'm going to use the wide slicer on the side. Some people like to grate them. I'm going to slice them on the slicer, and so it gives you a nice uniform size every time. I think. Okay. And so this is the gratin, and so I'm just going to put a layer in the bottom of potatoes. Right there. A little bit of butter. That's about all that's going to go in there too. And it goes on the bottom. It'll melt into the bottom and kind of sizzle it. And I'm going to go on and so this is too big, so I'm cutting it in a wedge. Partial wedges off of it. I'm going to use a little heavy cream. So this is very healthy. We've got our butter and our potatoes and our cream. And I've got some shredded Romano cheese and grated Romano and shredded Parmesan. I'm going to put another layer of potatoes. By cutting them thin like this, they'll cook right up in no time. Put a little bit more cream. A little bit more cheese. And so assuming that I have an oven and it's preheated to 350 degrees, one more layer. If you do this in a really big pan, that's all you need. You can put some ham in there, and that's it. That's dinner. All right, so I'm going to put a little bit more cream. And Parmesan and Romano. And then it'll go right in the oven. It's an oven. All right. So I've got a pan going over here. It's getting warm. I can feel it. Turn it down a little bit. Don't want any fires. What I've got is a pork chop here. You can buy them pre-cut at the butcher. We buy the whole big thing and cut them ourselves, but I want to do a French pork chop. And a French pork chop is you have the bone on this side here, and there's all this fat and stuff here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut it off right to the bone, okay? And I'm going to French this thing out. And you use the side of the knife. It really works. And you just scrape that off. Okay, that's just trash. Okay, so now we've got a French chop. And all I've got here is cumin, okay? I'm gonna go with oil. I'm gonna test this before we put anything in it, I've learned. Yeah, we'll be okay. And so all I'm going to do is I'm going to take that chop. I've got cumin. I've added a little bit of salt in there, pinch of salt, and I'm just going to coat that. Whew, boy, I can smell that. Okay, and right into the oil in the pan. So if you do this on the stove at home, you can see how it's blackening right here a little bit. And all I'm doing is searing that up, okay? It'll lock in the flavor. Now I've got the potatoes in the oven already. If you use one of these, if you're using a pan at home, which we do here at the restaurant, don't use one with a plastic handle, because all you'll get is the pan without the handle back out of the oven. Because I'm going to throw the whole thing right in there, just in this pan. Okay? But I'm gonna let that go a little bit longer. And I'm just going to put just a dollop of butter, a little bit, because I've cut off a whole bunch of that fat on the outside. I'm just adding a little bit of butter for seasoning. How's the smoke, okay? We haven't seen the fire department for a few days, so. They love me here, though. At least when it's a false alarm, they get something to eat. All right, so that's where we are right now with the chop. All right. So I've got the oven heated about 350 degrees, and I'm going to throw that in the oven with the potatoes. Now, there's several things we can do with this. You can put a salsa on it. You can make a pan gravy. You can do anything. What we've done is we've made a chive, fresh ground ginger, and yep, that's good enough. I'm going to put it over here just for a second. What I've done is I've made a compound butter. That's not sounding good, is it? A compound butter of chive, butter, salt, and ginger, grated ginger, fresh grated ginger. Unfortunately, again, I used it all up, so I can't grate it in front of you, but it's just on a grater. Okay, use the microplane and just mix it up and make the butter soft with the chives. I need a plate. So when it's all done, the gratin will come out of the oven. Okay? That's a lot of potatoes for some people, but I would eat it. With the pork chops and whatever Leslie didn't finish, I would have that too. Because I love these things. They're great. Yeah, that would work perfect. Also going to go onto the new menu is both the pork chop and the potatoes are going on the new menu as well. So I'm going to use a little bit of trying to get it out of the way. So I'm going to use a little bit of arugula here just to set it on from the salad. And I've got that chop. You can scoop the gratin potatoes. And that butter. The cumin goes really good with the ginger and cumin. They go really good together. It's not something that you really see a lot of, but we've tried it, and we've tried it several different ways, and it comes out really good. This butter is starting to melt down on there. Is it hot in here? Whew. I know, I'm sorry. So, oh my gosh, it's terrible. But so anyway, so this is the chop. Awesome dish. Pork used to be the other white meat, or it still is the other white meat and all that, and they used to say cook it, cook it, cook it. You don't have to do that anymore. I'm old school. I still eat my salmon cooked all the way. I can't help it. I have trouble with raw tuna. I like my tuna cooked all the way, and I still like my pork chops cooked all the way. I can't get by it. I just can't. But I serve it right all the time. But tonight the pork chops will be well done. So not overly well done, but they'll be good. We pull it. It's actually at 165 degrees that we pull them instead of 160. So there might be a little bit of a pinkness to it, but it's good, huh? 55. Is that what you do it at?
As long as they're still moist and
Yeah, it is. It is moist. They're very thick. They're right on the bone. They're beautiful. So
Markoh,
you just can't do it. What's that?
Charles babies up as much as
Yeah, well, but that's it. So this is what we're going to be serving for dinner tonight. All right, look good?